Morning, everybody. I want to spend a bit of time today following up really from the article that I put on LinkedIn yesterday or the day before. It was an article written by our partner, Dr. Ian Weinberg, our neurosurgeon that we work with. Very, very good article about Jake. And basically the story of Jake was Jake woke up in the morning. He was really happy. The weather was good. He was happy with his garden. He stroked his dog. He got into the car. He was having a big presentation that morning. Got into his motor car on the way to work. He hit terrible traffic. The presentation he was going to give would have been a life-changing presentation for him. So it was very important in his mind. And really, so what happened to Jake? So if you read the article, what happens is we can, as human beings, go into fear-based and future-based thinking. So what happens there is that we have this big presentation. We're going to be giving it. Now we're in a traffic jam and we start to lose our logic and we move over to our amygdalas, the seat of fear, anxiety, panic, and rage. And what we find is we kind of move down the continuum. So we have a fear of not meeting our objectives. In Jake's case, this was not getting to the meeting on time. He was now losing control of the elements. He thought that because he didn't make the presentation, it was going to undermine his standing, so it was very ego-based. We then get into anger. Now we need to control all the elements around us. We become blameful. We need to blame people for the fact that we're stuck in a traffic jam or whatever the case may be. So we really become full of our own ambition, driving ambition that we have. Insensitivity then comes into play, and of course judgmentalism comes into play. So we become very judgmental. So when we go down this path, we become hopeless and helpless. And this is really a very simple example, but it's a very, very good example of what happens when we allow our logic to be compromised by our amygdala and our brains. It's a very natural thing to happen to human beings, and we can go from green to the red very, very, very quickly. So from the graphic you see on the screen, when we get into a situation where we are now thinking we're going to lose control, what do we have to do? We talk about, in neuromodulation and neuroscience, we talk about being aware of the red button, but going to the green button. You've got to push the green button as quickly as possible. And what is the green button? Well, really, the green button is assessing the situation, having patience, being mindful in your dialogue that you're having with yourself, accepting the elements. There's nothing you can do if you're stuck in a big traffic jam and you're going to be late for a meeting. You just have to handle it. And you've got to be empathetic towards yourself. You've got to have ego dissipation. So you've got to let go of the ego. You've got to have self-confidence. You've got to trust in your aspirations and look at the big picture. So developing calm zone thinking is a big part of neuroscience. And if you are reflective in your thinking, I think you'll find many occasions where you find yourself locked into fear-based and future thinking, catastrophizing. This is going to be the end of the world if I don't make this meeting, or I'm going to be late, etc. And you start getting yourself so wound up that your amygdala starts producing lots of cortisol and the adrenaline starts pumping, and eventually it ends up in a hopeless, helpless disaster area. Whereas if you learn to push the green button and to go into patience and trust, become mindful, use your intellect, accept the elements, have empathy with yourself, dissipate that ego, develop trust, have your self-confidence, know that the aspirations are still there, and, look at the big picture. So, an important piece of neuro advice for you on this lovely Friday.